Mimo bibi akwaba eba Melodies TV so. It's here for say I was say yema nkrofo ehun sa story way. There was rumor na trending on social media. Say ECOWAS are predicted. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I don't like how it's like Ghana about to ayebetui. A lot of people are predicting violence. I simply don't like it. As of work asa, almost you about to no the ABCini, and then they will predict violence. Ebimo kasa almost you about to the ABCini, and people are just predicting violence all around, and it's something personal, you know. Charlie, any idea made me feel say I was say encouraging. So there is an article that the Herald newspaper Etroye say ECOWAS for Ekra Ashasye air predictive violence in Ghana's 2024 election, and I'll show you why. We all know the reason why Sansem winning and there as a air mounted pressure no. But there is a story at Herald newspaper Etroye. Na omotre say ECOWAS for a predicted violence in the 2024 election. ECOWAS for Babon saying at the response. The story was written 4 days ago. Herald newspaper. This is the story. The ECOWAS Mission predicts violence at Ghana's 2024 polls. Rightly, and you say rightly, wrongly, and now make us say boldly written up there. That's what I want to say. Now I say cites tension, mistrust, misinformation, insightful language. I say the Economic Community of West African States deployed to Ghana for a pre-election fact-finding mission to assess the country's state of preparedness ahead of the general election scheduled for December 7, 2024 has predicted violent polls as a result of very tense political environments in the country. Today I say ECOWAS for Herald newspaper for say ECOWAS for the Nkrofo Abagana say womombra emeye nhwehwemu omoba na omba behu senior MPP for Mount Stage so ansem omoka ene events NDC for ka say yen sign peace agreement bia any easy no mistakes, silly mistakes be oye ne nyama na ECOWAS for air predict say ntokwa besi. That is what the Herald newspaper him. Also the ECOWAS mission blamed the tension and potential violence on mistrust of some state institutions, including the Electoral Commission, the judiciary, and the security agencies, particularly the police service, after a meeting with their leaders and management last month. And see, a non-American. I say ECOWAS for story nature say ECOWAS for a meeting. Na meeting no, omoni EC for ni police for ni empenyufo ye meeting no mu hu say nkrofo wi. Omo nyom adwen say abato no, omo ma na ye finchem. It also said that misinformation, disinformation, and the use of insightful languages that have the potential to trigger violence were flagged as a major security threat. Some leading political figures and candidates were identified as perpetrators of insightful language. In this regard, the mission believes that the media, including social media platforms, constitutes a serious threat to peaceful electoral process as they serve as the channels for dissemination. Also, the political environment in Ghana remains tense as a result of mistrust of some of the institutions that play key roles in the conduct of the elections, including the EC, the judiciary, and the security agencies, particularly the police service, said a draft statement which is in circulation on social media platform into Herald for a statement at ECOWAS for Atro and social media. No. Now, let's quote the alleged statement. I'll say, regarding election security, in as much as the police service is recognized as having exerted its independence and diligence in recent by-elections, the recent appointment of a new Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations on 17 July 2024, less than 5 months into the general elections, has that raised concerns as regarding the government's motive. This was against the backdrop of earlier rumors of plans to change the current Inspector General of Police, who is seen by the public as generally fair and firm, the report said. So much a reporter air security on social media here trim say allegedly no a free ECOWAS for honor. Report me some way can say na Ghana for the police needy. Now so President Akufo-Addo new appointment a year in the police force no. ɛna nkrofo susu sɛ ɛno no ɛna ɛntwa yie ati asɛnti ɛno na as a create tension. Also, the independent checks by the Herald confirmed that the mission was under the leadership of ECOWAS Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security Ambassador Abdul Fattah Musa. In July, a statement by ECOWAS Commission in Abuja explained that the mission was to be supported by a tactical team of the ECOWAS Directorate of Political Affairs. It said that in line with its mandate of consolidating democratic practice in the region, the Commission of the ECOWAS Community of West African States deployed a pre-election fact-finding mission to Ghana from 21st to 29 July 2024. Also, the purpose of the mission was to assess the political environment in the country, assess the level of preparedness of the electoral management bodies and agencies, engage with political actors and stakeholders in the country, and support efforts to build the necessary consensus for an inclusive and peaceful political environment that will be conducive to the conduct of free, fair, transparent, and credible elections, and identify gaps and areas of further support to ensure the conduct of inclusive, free, fair, transparent, peaceful, and credible elections. It's a mission, no? The India say mobile Ghana, no? And no. It's a mission, no? A statement and all that. So this is more like the full statement that the Herald newspaper is alleging. Into ECOWAS for recommendation, or say ECOWAS should support initiative to mitigate hate speech, misinformation, and disinformation in the media. Into some of the alleged recommendations that ECOWAS for my and say one who na enkrofo se na enkrofo twa ntro Ghana media so no ya hwe ye na ma ne koso aboni besi ati ase. Also, the ECOWAS mission would however like to flag the political misconception, affiliation, and profiling of some of the EC commissioners, including the Supreme Court and the security agencies, misuse of the media, including social media, and the use of insightful languages by some political leaders. These challenges and gaps threaten the efficient organization of free and fair. Yes, senior MPP for Mountain Stadium to say Brian the Champion, Walkasa by heart. And the senior President Kufuor make an appointment to EC, no, allegedly in the report say, and no, and I am here able to me about or mine. So this is basically the alleged reports. Now, and no, na ECOWAS for Bontia or Moody Nine say they have not predicted any violence. Now, you read the response. I say the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has denied predicting violence in Ghana's 2024 polls, dismissing a report by the Herald tabloid as false and misleading. ECOWAS also reassured its trust in Ghana's democratic institutions to deliver a peaceful and transparent election. I say to educate the Herald, ECOWAS pre-electoral missions do not issue statements on their findings. Besides, reports of such missions are confidential and meant only for the eyes of the president of the commission to aid his engagement with authorities in the member state. Into more say Herald newspaper a chantro. Now, in the first place, ECOWAS for EBA meeting, mission, ECOWAS pre-electoral missions, no, omoba, they don't issue any statements. Now, omo issue statement and omo throw reports, report no, confidential and barbon saying, omo president ne pe any who report no. It is a Herald essay, omo who reports be said that social media na ECOWAS and atra, ECOWAS for say entro. Or say in this issuance, the prelim report is still undergoing quality control. At no time before, during, and after the fact-finding mission has ECOWAS predicted violence in the electoral process. The commission therefore finds it preposterous that the Herald would disingenuously repeat the standard operating procedures of ECOWAS fact-finding missions. ECOWAS for statement, let me read it. I say, rejoinder, ECOWAS mission has not predicted violence at Ghana's 2024 polls. I say, the attention of the Commission of the Economic Community of West African States has been drawn to a sensational article by the Herald tabloid of 21st August 2024, purported to capture a draft statement on the findings of its recent pre-election fact-finding mission to Ghana under the crudely misleading banner, ECOWAS mission predicts violence at Ghana's 2024 polls. The commission categorically denounces the tabloid's dishonest reportage. It's almost a intro. To educate the Herald, we've read that ECOWAS pre-electoral missions do not issue statements on their findings. Besides, reports of such missions are confidential and meant only for the eyes of the president of the commission to aid his engagement with the authorities in member states. In this instance, the preliminary report is still undergoing quality control. At no time before, during, and after the fact-finding mission has ECOWAS predicted violence in the electoral process. The Commission therefore finds it preposterous that the Herald would disingenuously repeat the standard operating procedures of ECOWAS fact-finding missions, twist issues that are in public domain in Ghana, and try to push its partisan conclusions into the mouth of ECOWAS. The ECOWAS Commission rightly holds Ghana in high esteem as a model of maturing democracy and tolerance on the continent, and often cites the country for emulation in the region. The Commission therefore condemns any attempts by sections of the media to misuse the name of ECOWAS in their vain attempt to sow discord among the over 32 million peace-loving people of Ghana through manipulation, partisan positions, and veiled incitements to intolerance and violence. Ghana deserves better. The ECOWAS Commission reiterates its truth in the resilience of democratic institutions in Ghana. It will continue to accompany the government and people of Ghana to once again deliver transparent, inclusive, and peaceful elections in December. Now, you see, in the Obi Babetro statement, I try to look beyond the statement that the person has written. Oshe Herald newspaper, omo ensemo awomo diaba. Yes, title no. Etro say ECOWAS predicts violence at Ghana's 2024 polls, and probably maybe the title could be events and clickbait. Your friend be clickbait. Maybe the title could be clickbait, but the content of the story, no, Osha, or say, very tense political environment in the country. Inti Herald newspaper and semo awomo kano, omo tremu a, omo say ECOWAS report no. Etre say Ghana political environment sisi ayeka say aye very tense. Inti say ECOWAS betron krata no tre say predicted violence. Your report no, it didn't predict violence. Indeed, report na Herald newspaper di aba no, it didn't predict violence in it. Just that the heading in a Herald newspaper no, omo tre asye senya womo te report na say. I don't know whether you understand. It's very simple. Ye na ye tifie. Efie ayeshi. Okay? Waba mi fie, waba be hune se anamema ba ofie, mababa be hune se chale eho ekunu ene oyere omo dere ntokwesi wo fie ho. Ene se bia ntokwesi so wo mo kun, but tension wo fie ho. Ne bia mababa be hu, me ba be hu ye no. Ena me ba mi fie na me be ka kire me yere se he chale ukọ aso mesi fie a ntokwa esi wo fie ho na nya ntokwa ketwa. Now, it could mean say tension no way anyway enkasa ninti. I mean, kasa. Obi ni obi nkasa, obi tumi kasa o ye kon ntokwa. And interested physically no we are fighting. Ebia woni onyu abi nkasa. Ye bisa say die ntia wo say o ye kon. And interested at that instance no mo kon, but kasa kwa. Inti me ha Herald newspaper no letter na ana statement a wo mo atro no. Omo tre say ECOWAS bae no. Wababa be hu ne say tension e wo Ghana mu. And interested physically no. Entokwa. But clickbait. Ti say senya me mababe hu say tension wo mu fie a makwa akwa say hey we one ne yere nkasa o mo ku. And interested physically they are fighting. But clickbait no me be fie a me ba be ka me yere say hey we anyway yo mo ku. And that is exactly what Herald did. It is a ECOWAS for Betro statement no more say we didn't predict violence. Technically, ECOWAS didn't predict violence. Technically, they didn't. And so they can run away with that. But the meat of the issue is that reports na about Bontain na Herald newspaper etrese mo kan sembi wom etrese muni Ghana police for a meeting. Muni ECA meeting, muni judiciary meeting na mo ankasa mo trese enkrofo ya muni omo aye meeting no. Akwa yese chale senya Ghana eko ya hweni ya abato no enko yie no. Is it true that report no it says that? Is it true? Because ECOWAS didn't really speak on that. They just took the title predicted violence and they are denying that they have not predicted violence. Yate. But is it true you spoke with security heads? Is it true you feel say appointment there President Akufo-Addo making no entwa year na? And I think that is the meat of the issue ECOWAS saying to me address it. Montre mo adwuma comment box ni mu. That's it.